This is the LaRouche chapter of New York City, and we're here to let you know, in case you did not know already, that Wall Street is bankrupt. That's right, it's finished, and so is the euro. And with what has happened with the recent elections in Greece, we can hope that the new government of Greece is considering playing the debt bomb. They could bring down this whole rotten, usurious system. The danger we face is that Americans are not aware that we are currently on the brink of thermonuclear war, that the United States, under this criminal nut job Obama, has sent troops to Ukraine. We are putting weapons, heavy military equipment in 7 nations on the border of Russia. And the American people have been bombarded by lies about what happened in Ukraine, which Obama was good enough to publicly brag about in an interview 2 days ago, where he announced that he was involved in running a coup where the democratically elected president of Ukraine, Yanukovych, was overthrown by a bunch of Nazis with Molotov cocktails, with people who had been fighting in Chechnya alongside the Chechens who are working with ISIS. And our very own Victoria Nuland was standing in the streets of Kiev handing out Twinkies and cupcakes to a bunch of Nazis who overthrew the democratically elected government of Ukraine and replaced it with their little errand boy, Yatsenyuk. And now we have the chocolate dictator, and we have an assault on places like Donetsk and the Donbass, where hundreds of innocent civilians are being killed by this Nazi regime. Russia did not invade Ukraine. They did not invade Crimea. The people of Crimea voted to rejoin Russia because Crimea is largely Russian and Russian-speaking. And if you're going to be pushed into a building and set on fire, why would you want to stick with a Nazi regime in Kiev? So Obama recently bragged that he overthrew a democratically elected government in Ukraine, and now we are on the brink of war with Russia. The United States is sending troops into Ukraine. If Russia invaded Ukraine, since everyone here knows about the NSA and the satellites that can look inside your bedroom window and read your car license plate from up in the atmosphere, how come we don't have any photographs of the Russian invasion of Ukraine? Where is the photographic evidence of the aggression that we are alleging that President Putin has ordered? It doesn't exist. Now, it's one thing to lie, as George W. Bush did, about the non-existent weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, which was bad enough. But to lie about Russia, which is a thermonuclear power, if the United States launches or threatens to launch against Russia, the United States will be obliterated before we know what hit us. As many of you know, the decision-making time now in a nuclear war has been reduced to 3 minutes. So, on behalf of these Wall Street crooks, many of whom, like Jamie Dimon, should be behind bars somewhere, let's get them making license plates or learning an honest trade, we are about to have nuclear World War III. Now, what Lyndon LaRouche is proposing is that we should bankrupt Wall Street by reinstating Glass-Steagall, the Glass-Steagall Act passed by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which puts up a firewall between the normal commercial and investment banks and the speculators. so that your savings cannot be used as collateral for people gambling on the price of gasoline. And that's another idiotic thing that our government has done. We're working with the Saudis. President Obama and the Bush family and Dick Cheney are in bed with the Saudis, the people who ran and financed the attacks of 9/11. And in collusion with the Saudis, we decided to lower the price of petroleum in order to try and bankrupt Russia. Well, this has turned out to be a brilliant policy because it's bankrupting everybody in Alaska, North Dakota, Texas. It's sort of like the case of a thief who puts a gun to his own head and demands all your money, and he says, "Or I'll shoot." That's the policy of the US sanctions on Russia. We're destroying our own economy. And so much for Obama's State of the Union address, where he announced the great non-existent recovery, even as in the United States since January 1st, there have been 300,000 new unemployment claims per week. Mostly bankers, I'm happy to say, and people who were silly enough to get into all of this fracking and oil and natural gas business when we really ought to be going nuclear. So we're here with Lyndon LaRouche to tell you, you are bankrupt. All Wall Street investors involved in speculation should surrender and join the United States in a Hamiltonian credit policy of reinstating Glass-Steagall, issuing credit from the US Treasury to create millions of jobs, to get our people back to work, and to join the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. These nations are actually taking a policy of Alexander Hamilton, creating millions of jobs and lifting millions of people out of poverty. And for that reason, Obama, on behalf of his British handlers, from the Queen of England down to Tony Blair and David Cameron, is putting us on a hair trigger for thermonuclear war with Russia. So we will now take a musical interlude to assist with your thinking. And those of you criminal speculators who wish to come out and atone for your sins will try and find you some honest work.
Patriots support Glass-Steagall. We declare Wall Street's illegal. Let's have some fun. Go Hamilton. House Resolution 381. What shall we do with Jamie Dimon?
Patriots support Glass-Steagall. We declare Wall Street's illegal. Let's have some fun. Go Hamilton. House Resolution 381. What shall we do with Jamie Dimon? How about a suite in Rikers Island? Obama too, with inmate too, can hold them down to get their new my bitch tattoo. But you must act before a Eurocrat. Impeach Obama, must take out the trash. Impeach Obama, must take out the trash. Oh, congressmen, we'll kick your butts. We need a hero, show some guts, courage. Congressmen, Senate, please show some guts. Patriots support Glass-Steagall. We declare Wall Street's illegal. Let's have some fun. Go Hamilton. House Resolution 381. What shall we do with Jamie Dimon?